What's up, everybody? Mark McKay here, and welcome to the recording studio here in my home of Nashville, Tennessee. This isn't actually my home, although I wish I had the studio in my home. But I'm so excited for the concert that you guys are going to see. I want to thank the Diablo Regional Arts Association. We played the Lesher Center a year ago, and was it a year ago? And COVID's messing me up. Anyway, played it a year ago, and it was so much fun. We played it for my birthday, and I had so much fun meeting all of you guys, and I can't wait to come back. So unfortunately, we can't be there in person this year, but we've put together a great little concert for you here. We've got some mega talents, some huge hit songwriters, and we kind of stripped things down a little bit. The one thing I'll say about it is what makes this town tick is great songs. And sometimes hearing the craft of those songs, the creation, the writing, and then hearing them performed in their kind of raw element as an artist, one of my favorite things. So a lot of the guys that I have written songs with who have some of these big hits, we brought them along today. We performed some of mine, we performed some of theirs. We had a great time, and I hope you guys enjoy the show. Starts now. All right, I want to introduce our first guy, who's a great friend of mine and just a monster talent. I love this guy. So his name is CJ Solar. He has toured all over the universe with everybody. He was just on tour with Leonard Skinner and 38 Special, Gary Allan, Brett Young, you name it. He had the #1 song in country music. It was either last year or the year before with Morgan Wallen and Florida Georgia Line's Up Down. He wrote that. Tonight, he's going to perform a song that him and I wrote together called She Won't, and also his new song that Jason Aldean just cut. But CJ and I met one night in Denver, Colorado, long time ago. We went out to play a show together. We didn't know each other. I drove from California. He drove from Nashville. We met in Denver. We both got paid $200 each to do that show with our full band. So every time we get together, we laugh about how far things have come. Here's the man, CJ Solar.
Smell of roadside flowers in bloom, coastline California windshield, a Jack Johnson song on the radio, it comes on and away I go. And I see her in the shotgun seat, summer tan legs and her dashboard feet. It's just a memory, yo, takes me back. She won't pick up when I call. It's like we never loved at all. She don't want what we had before, and she won't rewind through that door. Every set of blue eyes, and every sunset overlooking that southern sky, and every truck stop, diner I pass on every half-paved road takes me back, but she won't. If it worked in a movie, you can bet that I've tried it. Boomboxed overhead and a bottle of wine, and I'd spray paint her name on an interstate sign if she would just change her mind. She won't pick up when I call. It's like we never loved at all. She don't want what we had before, and she won't rewind through that door. Every set of blue eyes, and every sunset overlooking that southern sky, and every truck stop, diner I pass on every half-paved road takes me back, but she won't. pretty girl laughing every time I see a little yellow Volkswagen. Every set of blue eyes and every sunset overlooking that southern sky, and every truck stop diner I pass on every half-paved road takes me back. She won't. Come on, Matt, light it up.
Good shredding down there, buddy. All right, CJ, tell us about this next one.
So I wrote this song with a couple buddies, Neil Thrasher and Kelly Loveless, and yeah, it's on the new Jason Aldean album. It's called "I Don't Drink Anymore." Pretty stoked to have one on there. Here goes. 3, 4.
She don't like this bar. She don't like my friends. Thinks we party too hard. She said it's me and them. She said I need to change my ways. Boy, you got a choice to make. So I don't drink anymore. Ever since she left, I don't drink anymore, and I don't drink any less. She picks a bad time, try and slow me down, and this ain't a good night. Try and turn me around. I still like to get crazy, nothing new. Still like to have a few, but I don't drink anymore. Ever since she left, I don't drink anymore, and I don't drink any less. I didn't want her to go, and it's not that I don't give a damn. I just wanted someone to want me for who I am. This is who I am. She said I need to change my ways. Boy, you got a choice to make. So I don't drink anymore. At night you can bet I don't drink anymore, and I don't drink any less. Oh, I don't drink anymore, and I don't drink any less. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great song. One of my favorite guys to write songs with here in town is Chris Sly. You may know him from season 6 of American Idol. He also had a huge record deal as a Christian artist and had some huge singles there for a long time. So he's had a very long run at this. Him and I got together because he wrote one of my favorite Rascal Flatts songs ever, and you'll see him play it here in a little bit. But he's one of those guys that when we get together, we write all kinds of obscure stuff, and he's always willing to try anything, and we just have so much fun together. So I was really honored that he took the time to come and jam with us tonight, and you'll hear one of the songs that we wrote together that kind of has this sort of, I don't know, 70s disco vibe about it. It's kind of cool. And then you'll hear him sing his big hit. But here's the man, Chris Sly.
The way you look at me, it ain't right if we
nothing but a couple friends just trying to be platonic. And if I'm being honest, I ain't the only one noticing this thing between us. People have seen us. We got this town talking, thinking something's going on. Friends and family calling, wondering if there's something they should know. I can see it to me and you. Does it feel true to you, or is it insane that we got a thing? We got a thing. And maybe happiness is just another mess, and we can't go from friends to something else unless it's worth it. But this feels perfect. Can't be the only thing noticing this thing between us. 'Cause girl, I see us. We got this town talking, thinking something's going on. Friends and family calling, wondering if there's something they should know. I can see it to me and you. Does it feel true to you, or is it insane that we got a thing? Yeah, we got a thing. We got a thing. Yeah, we got a thing. We got a thing. Yeah, we got a thing. We got this town talking, thinking something's going on. Friends and family calling, wondering if there's something they should know. I can see it to me and you. Does it feel true to you, or is it insane that we got a thing? Yeah, we got a thing. We got a thing. Yeah, we got a thing. My favorite notes. Ready? Great jam. The man, Chris Sly, has assumed the piano, and I'm going to make him play his hit, which was a #1 with Rascal Flatts. But I was telling him when we met, we write all these great songs together. He's an unbelievable writer and musician, but I was telling him with his song. That's how you can tell this is all live, folks. I'm going to need my pick. With his song that called "Here Comes Goodbye," which he's going to play. I remember when I heard it, it was like so many chords, so many moving chords. It was so pretty. It was really like pleasing to a musician's ear, But I imagine there's a story about that song.
Yeah, so Clint Lagerberg, who I co-wrote the song with, he and I had written for my artist career, and he got together. He's like, hey, do you want to try to write some country stuff? And I had never really written country music. I'd grown up listening to country music, but never really tried to write it. And so we got together, and he said, we just got together and we started talking. And I think most people think that, musicians go into a room and they bang their head against the wall for 8 hours, and then they come out with a song from every now and then. And typically what happens is that beverages are consumed, or you are talking for 2 hours and then you write for 30 minutes and you come up with something really cool or not cool, sometimes not cool. And so in this case we were talking about breakups, and both of us were married, and we were talking about how the girls before we met our wives had broken our hearts, and so I told my story about this awful girl who broke my heart, cheated on me, and did all this stuff. And then he was telling this story about his girlfriend in high school, who he grew up in Maine, and in Maine they don't have air conditioning, and he lived at the end of this long gravel road, and so he had his windows open and he heard a car coming up the gravel road, and he literally looked out and he saw his girlfriend's car, and he thought, oh, that's weird. Like, he saw her windows were down and there was no music on the radio, and he was just sort of weirded out, like, she's not listening to music. She always listens to music. Something's wrong. Then she came up to the door and didn't like just come in. Like, she rang the doorbell, and so like he just knew that this breakup was coming. I was like, dude, that's our song. We had this title, "Here Comes Goodbye," and And I was like, that's like our first verse, man. Like, I was like, I can hear the truck tires coming up the gravel road. And he's like, and it's not like her to drive that slow with nothing on the radio. And it just sort of happened really, really fast once we started writing. So we wrote this entire song, totally different music than what ended up being with the song. We had this entire thing we thought was great. He went down to check on his daughter, who was 3 or 4 at the time. He goes downstairs to check on her, and I start playing this on the little keyboard that we had. I was like... I had this thing in my back pocket for like literally like
that's it.
I literally had that in my back pocket for like 2 years and just never found a way to put it on a song. And so he comes running up the stairs as he hears me playing this thing. He's like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Oh, it's just this thing I have in my back. We should write something." And he's like, "I think that's this song." And I was like, "I don't know, man." And I was like, "I can hear the truck tires coming up the gravel road." And I was like, "Well, maybe this is
Amazing."
that. And so we ended up rewriting the music completely. And so because we wrote the music, we only had the first verse and chorus and bridge, and because second verses are a lot of times the hardest to write because you have to fit an exact sort of box. The first verse, yeah. And so I went home, and so then he texted me later that night, and he said, "Hey, man, I know that we were going to get together tomorrow and write this song, but finish writing it, but I've got this second verse," and just on, like, text, it was like the most genius second verse that I'd ever read, and it was so good. It was like, I can hear her say I love you like it was yesterday, and I could see it written on her face. She had never felt this way, and one day I thought I'd see her with her daddy by her side, and violins would play Here Comes the Bride, but Here Comes Goodbye.
So good.
And I was like,
so good.
I think this is it, bro. Like, I don't think we need to get back together. And so literally the next day he went in and he had a guy named Sean McConnell, who's a writer here in Nashville. He was writing with Sean the next day. And so Sean had sort of a Rascal Flattsy sort of voice. And he got Sean to come in and sing on the demo. And it was like the piano thing that I'd done the day before. Sean sang it, murdered it, like one of the greatest demos I've ever heard. And so then, like, literally that morning, I got a call that Rascal Flatts had put it on hold, and then it took him a year and a half to put it out. But it was one of those magical sort of songs.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. It's amazing how many layers go into writing songs and how much time it takes to kind of get it right, get it perfect. But anyway,
and then it just happens.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Can't wait to hear you play it.
Yeah,
Let's
man.
do it. Are you doing it in C?
C.
Okay.
I can hear the truck tires coming up the gravel road, and it's not like her to drive that slow with nothing on the radio. Footsteps on the front porch. Now I hear my doorbell. She usually comes right in. Now I can't tell. Here comes goodbye. Here comes the last time. Here comes the start of every sleepless night, the first of every tear I'm gonna cry. Here comes the pain. Here comes me wishing things had never changed, and she was right here in my arms tonight. But here comes goodbye. I can see her say I love you like it was yesterday. I can see it written on her face that she had never felt this way. One day I thought I'd see her with her daddy by her side, and violins would play. Here comes the bride, but here comes goodbye. Here comes the last time. Comes the start of every sleepless night, the first of every tear I'm gonna cry. Here comes the pain. Here comes me wishing things had never changed, and she was right here in my arms tonight. Oh, here comes goodbye. Or was it have to go from comes the last time. Here comes the start of every sleepless night, the first of every tear I'm gonna cry. Here comes the pain. Here comes me wishing things had never changed, and she was right here in my arms tonight. But here comes goodbye.
What a song. Chris Sly, everybody. So when I had first moved to Nashville, a group of publishers and song pluggers introduced me to this next character, Bobby Boyd. And I went to his house and we went to his writing room and we wrote a great song together. We both have a love for Tom Petty and Electric Light Orchestra and the Eagles and all these great 70s rock bands. And so anyway, the first time we wrote together, we finished the song and I look up on the wall and there's a plaque that says Rascal Flatts. And I said, "Oh, did you write a song with them?" And he said, "Yeah, man, I wrote God Bless the Broken Road with a couple of guys." And I just thought, that's crazy. That's one of the most recognizable songs ever in the universe. I was actually a little bit starstruck. I couldn't believe I was sitting there with the guy that had come up with it. But he's turned out to be a great friend, great writer. He's had many cuts along the way, and I got him to play his big hit tonight, and along with a song that we wrote that's just come out on my new record called Bridge You Didn't Build. But just a really talented, great human being, and you are going to see him play now.
And he's still there in her not-so-distant past, and he's the one who's holding her back. And every time she's ready to fall into your arms, his memory is standing in the path. But you can't rush her, no matter what you feel. Some things only time can heal. You can lead her to the truth, you can guide her to the light, but she's the only one who can open up her eyes. You can dry up every tear she's ever spilled, but you can't burn a bridge. You can't burn a bridge you didn't build. The pain in her eyes brings out the fighter in you, but it's hard to lay a hand on a ghost. You want to jump right in and fix it all, but your patience is what she needs the most. But once she crossed over, there was no going back. If you give her some time, she'll face all the facts. You can lead her to the truth, you can guide her to the light, but she's the only one who can open up her eyes. You can dry up every tear she's ever spilled, but you can't burn a bridge. You can't burn a bridge you didn't build. And if you don't push her or try to move too fast, she'll be here to stay when she walks away from the shadow he cast. You can lead her to the truth, you can guide her to the light, but she's the only one who can open up her eyes. You can dry up every tear she's ever spilled, but you can't burn a bridge. You can't burn a bridge you didn't build. And And then she'll burn that bridge, finally burn that bridge you didn't build.
All right, the big moment, the big smash. Do you mind if I sing the second verse?
Go for it, bro.
Okay. Do you think I'll remember the
You gotta
words?
sing the whole. You gotta sing the whole song.
No, God. Okay, here we go.
I set out on a narrow way many years ago, hoping I could find true love along the broken road. But I got lost a time or two, wiped my brow, kept pushing through. I couldn't see how every sign pointed straight to you. And every long, lost dream led me to where you are. Others who broke my heart, they were like northern stars, pointing me on my way into your loving arms. This much I know is true, that God bless the broken road that led me straight to you.
And I think about the years I spent just passing through, and I'd like to have the time I lost, give it back to you. But you just smile and take my hand, and you've been there and you understand. It's all part of a grander plan that is coming true. Every long, lost dream led me to where you are. Others who broke my heart, they were like northern stars, pointing me on my way into your loving arms. And this much I know is true, that God bless the broken road that led me straight to you. And now I'm just rolling home into my lover's arms. And this much I know is true, that God bless the broken road that led me straight to you. That God bless the broken road that led me straight to you.
Oh, what a song. So I have to ask you, when you write a song like that, did you know the day you were done with it that it was going to be as big as it was?
Well, this one came out in a weird way. This was got three-way right, and it went all over the world, basically, with Marcus and Jeff Hanna. And once I heard it, though, once they were through with their doing what they did to it, I was like, yeah, no question.
And how long after it was written did Rascal Flatts record it?
11 years. It was on Marcus Hummond's first album. It was on the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, because Jeff Hanna was a co-writer on their acoustic album. And then it was Jeff Moore and Melody Crittenden had a top 30 country with it. It went all over the place.
So it got cut by all those people before Rascal Flatts touched it, and that's when most of us discovered it.
Yeah. But I had heard from Reba, I'd heard from Faith Hill, I'd heard from so many artists that they were going to cut it if nobody ever did. So
11
just
years.
one of those. Can't ever give up on a song.
Can't ever give up on a song. That's the theme of today's concert. You can't ever give up on a song.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing that.
Thank you, Mark.
This next character, I just can't say enough about. I don't want to ever suggest that one guy has more talent than others, but he may be some of the most talent I've ever seen with my own two eyes. He is unbelievable. Greg Barnhill is joining us here. Greg is one of the greatest singers, writers I've ever gotten to work with. He had a humongous hit with Trisha Yearwood with the song Walk Away Joe, which I actually was remembering when we were recording it today, that when I played the Lesher Center, we wheeled out a grand piano and I played Walk Away Joe at the show there. So I find it to be just a great song. You will get chills hearing him play it tonight. It's amazing. He's also had some huge hits with Amy Grant, Vince Gill. He wrote House of Love and many others. I could go on forever. He also has a big songwriter festival down in just outside of New Orleans. And on the other side of Lake Pontchartrain there in Mandeville, and we always go down and play that with him. But he has sung harmonies on every single Tim McGraw song you've ever heard. And he's just an amazing singer, an amazing guy, and I'm so glad that he's here tonight. And so y'all get ready. Here's Mr. Greg Barnhill.
1, 2, 3, 4. I got no wire fences and got no reservations. And the dawn is stealing midnight, and girl, you're smiling like the sun. You can have my jacket when it's cold, and I'll hold you when you don't know what's to come. There's a big wide open sky, and I know we're gonna make it there, and we'll get through the maybes. Put your head on me, baby, 'cause it's a long, wild road. We got a love that'll never let us go. Where it's leading, I don't know. All I know is you're with me, and you're the everything that I need down this long, wild road. We blew it together out of nowhere like the wind. Before I even knew you, hell, I must have loved you then. And I know that there's so much ahead, and we ain't even started yet to know. There's a big wide open sky. Let's just take our time and ride, 'cause the more that I hold you, girl, I can't be any closer. 'Cause it's a long, wild road. We got a love that'll never let us go. Where it's leading, I don't know. All I know is you're with me, and you're the everything that I need down this long, wild road. There's a big wide open sky. Let's just take our time and ride, 'cause it's a long, wild road. Got a love that'll never let us go. Where it's leading, I don't know. All I know is you're with me, and you're the everything that I need down this long, wild road. Here we go. 3, 4.
Love that song. Greg Barnhill, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a question that, well, I shouldn't say a question. I just want you to share with everybody. So the other day on the radio, somebody said, what are your top 3 moments that you've lived through as a musician? And I said one was playing to 30,000 people with Tim McGraw. The other was the first time I got to see Richie Sambora and talk to him. And the other time was when I heard you sing Walk Away Joe acoustic.
Thank you, man.
So just tell us a little bit about the evolution of that song.
Well, that song was a blessing. Actually, what happened was I actually started it with another guy, and I didn't start with him. We were writing that day, and we'd written a couple of ditties, and it was like, and it just popped into my head, and I had the first verse, and that day he didn't want to write anymore. He said, "Well, man, I just kind of burnt," and so I said, "Can I take this and put it on back then it was a cassette, so I put it on a cassette, and I held on to it." And Vince and I, Vince Melma, did the same thing. We were writing kind of some stuff and noodling around. And he says, "Man, I just want to write some substantial." And I said, "Yeah, me too." And I said, "Man, I remember I got this piece of tape of this song I started." And so I'd play something and he'd play something. And the next thing you know, we had this song. And it was like, this song, it just came through us. It was like one of those things that just like happened. And anyway, the song was written in like 45 minutes. It was just like kind of one of those things that kind of poured out. Wow. And Winona had it on hold for like 6 months. And for those of you who don't know what a hold is like an option in the music business, except that you don't get paid for it. So yeah, exactly. Yeah. Nice, thank you.
Yeah.
Songwriter gods.
Yeah.
So anyway, the deal is from that she let it go after 6 months of having it on hold, and Trisha Yearwood picks it up. We're going to Trisha Yearwood. She was coming off a hit called "She's in Love with a Boy." Picked it up, and then some friends of mine said, "Hey man, Don Henley's singing on it." And there was a saying back then.
That was gonna be my next question:
Yeah.
is how did that happen? Yeah.
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 So who was it? It was Dave Pomeroy said, "Man, we played the song of yours and it's great, man. It's unbelievable." And then Matt Rollins said, "Man, we played in the song and you ain't gonna believe it." And Don Henley's singing on it. Well, there's a saying: it's never final till it's vinyl. Back in the day, you don't believe anything till you see the label copy, or
That's funny.
You see it on,
Yep.
So anyway, we're sitting there, and it was like, next thing you know, everything happened like a blur. It was like, sure enough, I'm watching. I remember watching. It was on the Grammys, and it was nominated for a Grammy, that year. And so here comes Don Henley singing behind the curtain, and who I grew up listening to was one of my idols, the Eagles.
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff. And I was like, geez, man, this is like, is this really happening? It was like really, even beyond any songs I'd had before that. This was like, just dwarfed that. It was kind of nuts. But anyway,
unbelievable.
The song's been great to me, man. Thank you.
I hope you
Thank
all.
Lord,
I
man.
hope you all enjoy hearing this acoustic as much as I do. Go ahead.
And it goes like this. Mama told the baby girl, take it real slow. Girl tells her mama, hey, I really gotta go. He's waiting in the car. Mama says, girl, you won't get far. But thus are the dreams of an average Jane, 90 miles an hour down to Lover's Lane on a tank of dreams. Oh, now if she could have only seen. But fate's got cards that it don't want to show. And that boy's just a walk-away Joe, born to be a believer, tell you from the word go. Destined to deceive her, he's a wrong kind of paradise. She's gonna know it in a matter of time. That boy's just a walk-away Joe. Just a little while into Abilene, they pull into a station and he robs it clean. She's waiting in the car, oh, down underneath the Texaco star. Now she only wanted love, she didn't bargain for this, but she can't help but love him for the way he is. She's only 17. Oh, and there ain't no reasoning. So she'll ride this ride just as far as it will go. Then she'll find he's a walk-away Joe, born to be a believer, tell you from the word go. Destined to somewhere in a roadside motel room. Alone in a silence, she wakes up too soon and reaches for his arms. Oh, but she'll just keep reaching on, while the cold hard truth revealed what it had known. That boy's just a walk-away Joe, born to be a leaver, tell you from the word go, destined to deceive her. He's a wrong kind of paradise, but it was just another lesson in life. That boy's just a walk-away Joe. Yeah, all it was a walk-away Joe. Just a walk-away Joe.
All right, I want to thank everybody so much for tuning in tonight. I want to thank the whole crew and Greg, who's still here, and Bobby and Chris and CJ. And there's so much that goes into writing songs, recording them, right? I mean, it's just it's unbelievable how many people are behind the scenes. But I want to thank more than anything everybody for tuning in tonight to listen and for streaming the new record that just came out. And we just want to play our latest single, my latest single that we wrote together, which was written one day right after the lockdowns were starting to loosen a little bit, and you know the country's in such a interesting state right now, and there was just something about this lyric saying "I will walk you home" that just felt so comforting. So that was another song we wrote pretty quickly that day, and our buddy Stan Cars was with us. Yeah. Okay, so thanks for listening. It's my latest single. It's called "Walk You Home."
You're scared of the day yet to come. There's a little bit of fear in everyone. The end of day may bring the dark. You won't have to walk alone, 'cause even then when the darkest night, I will walk you home. Light will take. The lines are blurred between fact and fate. And promises are never certain. Tell you this, I know, but you will never have to break the dark, for I will walk you home. And I will be there right beside you. Faith is falling weak. Unlike this world uncertain, uncertain, you'll know right where I'll be. Even when it's getting close to the dawn, I will walk you home. I will be there right beside you when your faith is falling weak. Unlike this world uncertain, you'll know right where I'll be. Even when it's getting close to the dawn, I will walk you home. I will walk you home.
See you, everybody.
This is where our story ends. Never lovers, ever friends. Goodbye. Let our hearts call it a day. But before you walk away, I sincerely want to say, I wish you bluebirds in the spring to give your